Well, I thought Kiana Law was really the difference in the ball game. Kid was extremely aggressive. Really took it to our fours and fives. I mean, goes out and gets a fourth of their rebounds and half of their points. So really felt like she was the best player on the court tonight, and tip my cap to her.
You guys were going started off cold shooting. I think you were 1 for the first 9 from the field. What was that? What were you trying to tell the team when you guys were in that situation?
Well, you look at it, and we only had 8 assists on the night. So I think that it's a situation where you get off to a poor start, and then I think our guys want to win, but I think they went about it the wrong way on the offensive end. We tried to make too many individual plays instead of playing together and moving the basketball a little bit. So that's a lesson we're going to have to learn, that to get back into some of these games when we're not playing well, it's going to have to be the 5 guys on the floor and not just one person trying to do it all. And I didn't think we had one guy do that. I thought we had multiple people do that. We had some guys really play out of character. We've had some people that have not established themselves as three-point shooters, and tonight they decided to shoot more than they would in a practice. And I think that's not the time to really work on your game when you're in a tight game like that. So need to do a better job, I do, of letting people know what their strengths and weaknesses are, and we need to really try to stay away from our weaknesses and play to our strengths.
What about at halftime? I think it was 1 for 19, actually, that you opened the game. So at halftime, after shooting 1 for 19 to start the game, you look up and you're leading. I'm sure it didn't change how it felt, but you had to be at least pleased to be in that position.
Well, you're happy to be in a game,
sure,
obviously,
sure.
when you start out that way and play that poorly offensively. But we just couldn't string together enough stops. I thought they played inside on us. Kaylin got in foul trouble, and Tyler did some nice things offensively, but we couldn't keep it out of Law's hands, and she made some big baskets at really important times. And then obviously they splash in a 3 at the end of the shot clock that I think was really a difference maker.
Are you guys aware of how that starts going? I mean, I know it's not going in the hole, but are you aware of how bad it was numbers-wise? And when you're out there, are you thinking that way, or are you just thinking, how can we get a ball to go in?
We preach the term next play, and so I think we really can't get caught up on what happened the last possession or the shots we've taken prior to. It's got to be a present mindset for us, and so I don't think any of us really get caught up in that. I think that we know that there's a sense of urgency that our team needs to have. I mean, you feel that on the floor in a pickup game, but I don't think we're all wrapped up on numbers in the middle of the game.
Coach, with the St. John's game and going down 10 points to Creighton at first, does it feel like slow starts are starting to become a theme?
I would say that that's a trend, and I feel like a lot of that starts with the defensive end. I mean, I know tonight we only scored 44 points, but we've been much more consistent offensively than we have defensively. When we're playing man, we foul, entirely too much, and it's obvious to me we're going to have to get quite a bit better at zones and maybe multiple zones, because we have difficulty defending the paint, and then we foul too much on the perimeter.
What are you guys taking from these 2 close losses short amount of time again to prepare for another game coming up?
I think you have to, when you're disappointed, like this, not only in the fact that you lose, but maybe how you lost and how you played. I think you have to be careful that you don't say too much. I think you need to get eyes on the film and evaluate it and go from there. Because I think when your pride's hurt a little bit, I think maybe there's sometimes you can say some things where you can't take them back, and I think you have to be careful in these situations that you don't do that as a coaching staff.
Warren, what do you think of Tyler off the bench? She was 3 for 3 and had 6 points and 6 boards.
Right. Tyler did a really good job for us tonight, and Kaylin struggled a little bit more than usual, and so it's awesome that we have a deep bench that we can go to, and came in and contributed in positive ways.
Jada, a little leadership kick in from you, just having been around a little more than a lot of girls on that roster. You were really hitting the offensive board late and getting after it in that way, just really keeping you guys in it a little bit, just having chances to get buckets late.
Yeah, and I think, like Coach Brandon said, we preach defense, so we know that the offensive end wasn't working this game, wasn't what we wanted it to be, so we know that we had to get stops. We knew that getting offensive rebounds and everybody crashing the boards and being together on the defensive end is where it had to start it for us to even be able to get back in the game.
Coach, that last minute and a half, 2 minutes, whatever it was, you guys obviously didn't have any timeouts. I mean, how hard is that when you know, you're trying to come back and you get a couple of buckets, but you can't stop that clock and get things.
No, you can't. And I think when it's a situation, you know, they made their free throws. I thought we did a good job of, you know, we wanted to foul without any time going off the clock. When you're down with 35, I don't think you can play the possession out. So we wanted to foul, and we did a good job there. They made some free throws. You know, even the last play, we just didn't get matched up in the press, you know, because with 9 seconds, we still had a chance there. Had we been able to commit another foul, and they did a good job of, you know, getting the ball over the top of us before we could get to them.
Any last questions?
Yeah, just for either of you guys, or both maybe, far enough into the season where, you know, it's starting to feel like, okay, we need to, you know, hit our stride and figure out who we are. That's kind of what you were just talking about, I think. Do you guys, you talked about urgency. Is there that part here too? I mean, you're still a young team, and it's obviously first year for a new coach and all that stuff, so maybe some of that early on is forgivable or whatever you want to call it, but are you hitting that point where it feels like now's where we got to go? We got to start putting this thing together.
I feel like we should have felt a sense of urgency from game one, because we talked about in practice a couple days ago crunch time, and how every possession for us is crunch time, and every game for us is crunch time. And we have to be able to step up to the challenge, no matter who it is, and what our record is, and what's happened in the past, and what Big 12's looking like in the future. It's got to be a focus on the present, like I talked about.
Sure.
And it's crunch time right now. It was crunch time 3 weeks ago, and it'll be crunch time in March. So we just got to keep thinking of it that way.
Piggybacking off what she said, like, we do have a young team, like you said, but we already established in the beginning of the season that we weren't going to let that be an excuse for us. And so being young, we do have to have, as Coach Brandon always refers to, everybody has to come out and play their best game for us to be successful, and we know that. So I think it's just getting that together and everybody knowing their roles, like you said, being realistic with your roles, and if you don't like your roles, get in the gym outside of it and starting to play how we practice.
Coach, I just want to mention about Chelsea coming off the bench again. I mean, collects 3 boards, and when both posts were in foul trouble. What do you think of Chelsea?
I mean, sometimes those are the hardest jobs. You know, when you're maybe third on the depth chart, and you know, you're not getting a lot of minutes, but yet you always have to be ready when your name is called to come in and you know, play at a high level. And I was proud of you know, what she did tonight in the time that she was given.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
UMKC coach is heading in right after this.
Okay, thank you.